Hi, everyone. I'm Dayne Young from UGAsports.com. That's Brent Rollins. We write Film Don't Lie over on UGAsports.com after every Georgia game. We're doing more video analysis of what we see from this film. And Brent, you had an idea. Let's check out Georgia's running game because a lot of fans have asked, why is it not more explosive? Where are those explosive run plays that we're used to seeing from Georgia?
Yeah, and especially after Missouri. When you look at how bad Missouri was as a run defense team overall and how literally Vanderbilt torched them on the ground and Georgia didn't. Thus, what are some of the things there? And then also this past weekend against Tennessee, some clips that we got. I think we got 8 clips we're going to show that just kind of the margins, like we were talking before, the margins are thin in the running game where sometimes it's perfect and you get home run plays like you saw Cook's touchdown against Tennessee. And that's obviously one that we're going to show. But also it's just one little block here, one little, hey, hitting on this shoulder versus that shoulder, or one little cut that we miss, and you would have had big plays. But, that's what we look at the tape for. That's what we want to see. And again, that's why the film doesn't lie.
So we start with this play against Missouri. We have 8 running plays. We're going to run through these pretty quick just to show you some of the similarities, some of the differences, some of the things that Georgia can try to do that as they get in this home stretch of, hey, the season is going to end, but you're in kind of the postseason now. That means that you kind of have to shift what you're doing a little bit because the competition gets a little greater. First play we're looking at is against Missouri.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that I want anyone to see with the running game is it's numbers, and so many coaches say this all the time, but numbers, angles, and grass. Can you get a numbers advantage? Can you get the proper angles? Or can you get your players in space and give them a lot of green grass to go have success in the running game? Here, what we see, and this is obviously a condensed view and from behind view, but you only see 6 Georgia blockers. Brock Bowers as the left tight end, and then Broderick Jones, Schaefer, Van Pran, Erickson, and then Warren McClendon as your starting offensive line. But what you see from Missouri is what has happened for Georgia a lot in the run game, where the defense is saying, hey, we're always going to be +1. If you have 5 blockers, we're going to have 6 in the box. If you have 6 blockers, we're going to have 7. If you have 7 blockers, we're going to have 8. And in this play, they have a +1, and it's that guy with the light, nice, long, with white everywhere, basically. The white long sleeves, the white leggings, number 3, the backside sort of safety or nickel corner for them. And what you see here is when you think about this play specifically, everyone, for the most part, does their job. At least, they don't miss. So if you stop right there, you've got McClendon on the right side working the edge out. You've got Erickson pushing. So this is inside zone to the right. The back is putting his eyes to the right and then reading sort of flow. And if there's a backer there, he's also reading the backer to see which way the linebacker goes. But for the most part, you have hat on a hat, except for the numbers advantage that the defense had. And when you see that numbers advantage with number 3, what happens? Play it through, boom, make the cut, make the right cut, and he's just there. The guy's just there to make the play. And you get a 3-yard gain, 2-3-yard gain. You lean forward, you get 3, maybe 4. So, positive play, a very good start. But now let's look at that in the same Missouri game. And this is something I put this on Twitter a while back. But to me, this is the thing that Georgia needs to do to have even more success in the running game. And that is leave the unblocked defender for the quarterback to read and make Stetson's legs be the threat from an unblocked defender standpoint. You have the same formation, in essence, the same play going left with Zamir White here. And same thing with the box. 6 blockers.
And keep an eye on this edge defender on the right side of the line in between Warren McClendon and Brock Bowers.
Yep, with the white gloves and the white sort of sleeve on his right arm there. But watch how now as you start to play, you leave that guy. So Brock Bowers arcs out to that guy coming into the box. And now you have McClendon, Erickson, Van Pran, Schaefer, and then Jones for 5 Missouri defenders. And you're leaving that guy unblocked for Stetson to, in essence, read. Now, whether he's truly reading this, I don't know. But look at the job that you see Erickson getting pushed, McClendon getting pushed. And because he takes a false step with the fear of Stetson's legs, you get this play. 12, 13-yard game from Zamir White. And that's, when you think about it, that's what you want to see in the running game. And it's just by one little change and putting one defender in conflict, especially a line of scrimmage defender, that you allow yourself to regain that at least numbers tie or numbers advantage.
Yeah, so you're trying to create those different matchups, and sometimes the defense dictates what that's going to be for you. And we've seen Georgia check in and out of things, make it a reverse play, send it in the other direction. We see that all the time. From my naked eye, and you know football better than me, I can see what the issue is here for Tennessee. Look at this big old gap here, right in front of 54.
Yes, Schaefer. When in doubt, run to where all the grass is. And what's beautiful about this from Georgia's perspective, again, count the box. You have 6 blockers for 6 defenders. And if you watch the backside guy with the white sort of wrist tape, the backside linebacker, he in essence takes himself out of the play. Doesn't even need, you don't even have to block him. So now you have 6 on 5. And this touchdown to me was teaching tape. Phenomenal job by all involved.
Great block from Cedric Van Pran. And once you get to where the lane is developing, the help here from Schaefer to be able to set this up. Yeah, Cook has to get through this tackle here. That Erickson did an okay job of setting up, but Cook's a good player. He's strong. He's fast.
Yes, and if you run it back to the beginning, this is Warren Erickson actually, does a really good job here, because this is, all these guys are working for the most part on a track. Their track, they're stepping left with their first foot or first step and then moving on that track. McClendon's guy stays out, so he keeps that edge. But Erickson is the one who make him and Van Pran are the key block, because if you pause it right at the snap, right there, that note, the guy over top of Van Pran takes a sort of left, his left, the offense's right. Van Pran puts his hand on him, is now kind of passing him off to Erickson. And really all Erickson's job is now to just run with that guy and get in the way. Make sure that guy doesn't penetrate and make sure that defensive lineman doesn't make the play. Everybody else, Broderick does a good job of doing the old Reggie White kind of, throw with his right hand, getting that guy turned. And then when you see that and you get Cook in, once he gets through that, it's, hit your head on the goalpost.
Yeah, it's daylights from there. And, I don't know what number 4 is doing here for Tennessee. Safety back here, he's on his heels. He's got it. I guess he's thinking Cook may continue to go left here.
Yes.
Not that great recognition, in my opinion.
No, and that's is Tennessee the greatest defensive team on planet Earth? No. They 100% aren't. And you see sometimes where, you take advantage of kind of their issues as much as you have their sort of your own issues.
Next play, we have Zamir White in the backfield. You're going to see Xavier Truss pull to the left. Same with John Fitzpatrick, pull to the left.
Yep. This is counter 101. And if you, again, count the box, you have 7 blockers. They have 8 defenders. One guy gets left unblocked on the backside. So now it's 7 on 7. You've created some level of angle because, again, 59 Jones blocking down, 54 Schaefer blocking down, Van Pran blocking back. Right about there, though, is where this play kind of goes awry. And, you see with Zamir White here, it's one of those, just from a standpoint of what's the play. I always trust a great back to see things and go do what they think they see. But also there's a balance that you have to have of trusting the play and trusting the blocking. Because when in doubt, right here, this play, and by the way, if you think it's fun playing defensive end in the SEC, this is a nice little collision from Mr. Truss and the defensive end with the white long sleeves. But follow your blockers. Fitzpatrick is the lead here. Get into there, and you have the opportunity to give yourself some space, because if you look at the cutback lane, when Truss hits his guy right there, the only guy there is 26, 28, I think, with the white towel in the back. You never know. You never know. Hey, maybe you break a tackle, maybe make another cut. But this is one where it's just one little thing, and it's hard. It's not like it's easy. This is happening so fast. and you see what's going on. But again, when in doubt, I would trust and follow the guy that's kind of my lead guy, fullback guy, leading through the hole here.
Tell me what you think happens here on the left side with Brock Bowers and AD Mitchell, because I know AD has to crash to the inside. Like, that's his role, is get there as quick as you can. You're a fast guy. It's a hard assignment to come for that wide receiver position and block on the interior like that. So, like, a lot of receivers don't do this well, but obviously he and Brock Bowers end up on the same guy.
Yeah, and it's one where, is that a miscommunication? Is that something where he should be pushing up a little further? Who knows? But he goes with vigor. He gets an initial hit, that's for sure. And after that, it's okay, fine. But you like to see, what you at least like to see is the aggressiveness. And probably when you think about from Zeus's perspective, he's looking and seeing that flow coming down. All right, hey, I'm going to bounce. But again, that guy behind him with the white long sleeves there and the white gloves, that you're not going to see that, and he easily sort of flows over the top. And then you also have a +1 defender outside there as well, because the guy over top of AD Mitchell is just sitting right there. But still, go ahead.
You got to just hope that someone would pick up this backer here, and maybe the play has more life. But when you look at what Tennessee has right here, when the play's coming this way, Bowers just has to get on a body here.
Yeah, and ideally, when you think about who is sort of supposed to get who, and by the way, this is one where I don't know the play call. Well, yes, it's counter, so you get a kick out with Truss, and then you get a lead. So Fitzpatrick is ideally, with Broderick Jones getting the backside linebacker, Fitzpatrick is ideally the guy working up to the play side linebacker, which is the guy with the white long sleeves there. That's who ideally is, hey, I'm following that guy because that's his man, and I cut off of that block, or at least get into that space and then move from there. So it's one little sort of missed vision part there. And actually, when you think about Zamir White's game this past weekend against Tennessee, he just kind of looked off in general, was very choppy with his feet, very, his patience even kind of went a little bit, where we lauded that all season. And it was just kind of off, and, Cook just had that better day, had better rhythm.
You could say this is lack of patience here. Like, John Fitzpatrick's not in the hole yet like he needs to be, and Zamir runs away from, as you see, there's more of a lane here than what he chose. So
yes, and ideally, like maybe I'm not Del McGee, and I obviously don't know that, but maybe saying, hey, let's set this up. Let's take a outside cut first to then work up inside. Who knows? But no, still yet, you at least get some form of positive yards, but not what the play could have been.
All right, so next up.
This one is an interesting play, because you have two backs on the field. So you have, I think they actually had one tight end, so 21 personnel. And Cook motions out. And when Cook motions out, it's always one of those things where it's interesting to see, is the QB reading, much like what Tennessee did. Basically, if Georgia stayed in the box, they threw the bubble. But here, the key is watching the guy 24, which is the linebacker on the right side of the offense with the white wrist tape. When the motion comes out, he instantly opens his hips and goes out. And now from the perspective of the back, I don't know if he can see that. I don't know what he's looking at pre-snap, but the instant that guy leaves and vacates the screen, you should see the hole that opens up right about now. And it's one where it's so hard. And oftentimes in these inside zone runs, you're teaching the back, hey, we're looking at the Mike linebacker or the play side linebacker. And if he flows outside, we cut back. If he stays inside, we cut out. And what you see here is you see a lot of congestion, and Broderick working on the down block here. And, oh, hey, there's some green grass to the left. But what we don't get is, one, you have an extra defender out there. Two, that linebacker can easily, nobody's on him. Schaefer's kind of caught in the traffic and can't work up to him. And then the guy spins off of Broderick Jones.
Got to go where the grass is.
When you think about Kenny Mack and his running style, especially with him and his running style, I was shocked that he kind of did not make that cut back there, because when you look at Truss does a good job here of just working that guy, which way he's going, getting his butt and head on the right side. McClendon with the same, and it creates that natural space for the cutback lane. But, hey, you still get positive yards, and he does a good job of sort of running through contact, but you don't get the bigger play, the 7, 8, 10 chunk play or explosive running play that maybe you would have liked.
You do also see Justin Schaefer end up on the ground in this play. It's hard once you get into the pile like that.
Oh, gosh,
I always
yes.
hear that, like, if an offensive lineman's on the ground, something went wrong. I don't think you can blame him at that point this deep into it. I mean, look at the maul of guys in there, including his own.
Even, for example, like, think about this play. Go back to the play one more time and watch Warren McClendon's left foot. So this is inside, zone left. So he steps left, and Truss kind of does like a chop with his feet. I don't know how they don't step on each other's feet right there. Like, it's just the minuscule amount that, hey, go be a big athlete like that and not quite step on that guy and then shift your body there. Because it's just this, again, the margins are slim. You got a lot of big guys in a very small space. The fact they didn't trip each other up right there is amazing in and of itself.
A couple more plays here. This is a little quick pitch to Zamir White.
All right, so let's go back to the snap on this one, because this one is interesting, and why you see Georgia a lot of times go with the quick toss into the short side of the field, into the boundary, because you're making corners play a physical style of football that oftentimes they don't necessarily want to. And you think about it, but if you can't see the safety, he's at the bottom of the screen on this, and he bails to the middle of the field. So the safety bails out instantly, not a part of the play. So you've got the guy who's with the orange long socks, who's head up over Justin Schaefer, left guard. You've got number 6, number 38, and then you got a corner. So you've got, 4 guys in essence that you have to block. And you actually have also Jermaine Burton out wide, Darnell, Broderick, and then Justin Schaefer, and then possibly SVPs, Van Pram, working up to that. So you've got 4 on 4. You've got a hat on a hat here. And with the way they do this, there's one block here where if they get it, this is a ginormous play.
And that block is?
Let's watch Darnell on 6. Right, slips right through there, because guess who does a phenomenal job? We've talked all season about perimeter blocking. Watch Jermaine Burton come in, deliver a blow on 38, the linebacker, and stay with it. Like, that's phenomenal work from him. He gets his head in the right place, head out on the left side, drives it, and then finishes the block. It's perfect. Now the corner tries to undercut Broderick a little bit, but the key there is if Darnell's able to get his guy a little bit. And what was interesting, I thought about this, if you go back to the snap, is Darnell works up the field almost like he thinks number 6 is going to kind of work up the field as well when he sees the toss action. I think this is one where he should kind of go at him initially as opposed to working straight up the field. Like, I think his first 2 steps go wide, and then that guy slips underneath of him. And that's just 6 being an athlete and making a play. But if that is sealed, Burton makes a phenomenal block. Zeus is then able to cut inside. Yes, 21 kind of beats Schaefer a little bit. That's a very tough block for him. But still, he's not quick enough to make that play. Zeus is able to cut inside of Broderick, and you have a lot of grass off of the inside there. But again, 6 kind of gets through there, forces him to stay outside, and then makes the play.
Very small margins on these plays.
Very small margins on these plays. Very true. And speaking of small margins, all right, Dayne, does anybody do their job here?
Well, we said this is a whole big mess. James Cook does his job.
Yes, he does. And this is one of the things about having great players, because, this play, it's, again, a counter play. You have guard kick, tackle lead, and, Cedric Van Pran, phenomenal job, which, by the way, also, they don't have to block 30. Like 30, the backside defensive in here. Doesn't he need – that's Stetson later in the game read him. He's the one who came around and tried to, kind of tackle the running back, and Stetson went out the back door for a 10-yard gain. But you don't have to block him, but you get penetration, and you get Schaefer missing the kick out. So then Broderick, so right there, Schaefer misses that 6 is the guy. He's actually kind of – Warren McClendon's coming down on 97. Schaefer right there. Ooh, right by 6. So then Broderick hits him, which, by the way, Broderick, please keep your head up when you do that next time. That was he went down a little bit. I didn't like that too much. But Cook does a phenomenal job. And then the other player to watch here is Xavier Truss. what amazing part of blocking is it's not about the pancakes all the time. Like he runs in a sort of half circle. The defender has to run away from him just by him being big. And then when he spins around, his hind end knocks 24 over. So like he blocks two guys here with literally just being a big dude in space. Works phenomenal. But Cook, the beautiful thing about running back play and watching running back play and instincts is this is something I don't know that you see from James Cook, especially his first 2 years, but even maybe a little bit last year. Just a little wiggle through here, a little wiggle through there, seeing that, and then using his explosive ability and his speed. Because there's nothing about that run that screams, hey, I need to have a 4.40.
We talk about all the offensive linemen. Look at Brock Bowers in this play from the tight end spot. Really struggles to kind of pick up where he should be, what the defense is doing. I'm going to play this forward. Just watch Bowers take a step out, come back in. Does not touch a player on the play until Cook is far behind him.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where his arc release is trying to get the defense to do certain things, but still yet, again,
got to block.
Got to get somebody and go, and he tries and he goes and gives effort, and they're all giving effort. But it just goes to show how, all right, one play we have a little miss and you get a potentially big gain messed up. This play you have a lot of miss and your back is just really good and makes a great play. And then this play is the one where, to me, just next level evolution of what their offense should be, especially with Stetson Bennett. And especially if their running game has any struggles, is this play right here.
So RPO, right?
In essence, yes. In essence, yes. And what you have here is the beautiful part is when you look at the box, is when you go back to the snap and you look at the box count, you have six players to block 6 guys. And it's 22. And even you can include the corner a little bit in the box if you wanted to. And 22 even comes down further. But 22, the defensive end, and then the play side linebacker don't get touched because they don't need to be touched. That's the beauty of plays like this. And as you run it through, so you got a combo on the D line, you got a combo on the left working up. James Cook gets 7-8 yards on this play. And what's because of one, Stetson holding 24. So if we run it back right when he's handing the ball off, right there, 24 is sitting there, eyes on Stetson, allowing Cook the lane to get in through there, and now you've got yourself a lane to explode through. The part, though, that I would love to see, and this is what Alabama absolutely just destroyed people with Devontae Smith in the slot, is if you see 22 coming down, you now have hat on the outside, throw the bubble. Now, is it a true read? I have no idea. Like that's obviously something that, hey, coach, would
it at least
a read play or is this a gift? Exactly. It's giving that option, and maybe it's one of those things where, hey, this time we're giving it, other times we're going to read it. But especially once you see 22 and you got eyes on 22, that guy that's over top the slot, and he's coming down into the box. All right, bubble out here. You got hat on a hat, and let your guys go make a play in space.
I mean, there's all the ground. I mean, you're turning it into using, like I said, hat on a hat. You'll have an extra guy out there with the ball, and it's a speedy guy. So
yep, and that's one of the things where you think about the nature of the running game for Georgia, and I've read and seen people, hey, Coach Monken still has all kinds of his playbook left. No, he doesn't. The plays are it's counter, it's inside zone. What they haven't done probably a lot, and what they are keeping sort of in their back pocket, are dressing up a lot of these things with variations from a formational standpoint or with variations within motion to run the same play. They're still going to run the fake toss and then throw it deep, but they're going to dress it up differently. They're still going to run the leak play to the back and then the tight end coming around, which they did in this game against Tennessee, where Bowers got his catch. They're still going to do a lot of those things, but the window dressing for the running game, and again, using Stetson Bennett's legs as a threat, leaving an unblocked defender for him to read. And if he gets a give read or a keep read, go take 5 yards and slide. It's a 5-yard run. Move on. Stay ahead of the chain. Stay in positive situations. But again, their running game really close to being very, very good.
People hear us talk about all the time Stetson Bennett's mobility. That's why he's gotten the opportunities. And that's a piece of it. Some of it said he's just played well. Some of it said he knows what he's doing. He's an experienced quarterback. But some of it is not even mobility. It's the threat of mobility. Because he doesn't run all the time. He's not going to go run for 80 yards in a game. I mean, could it happen? Maybe. But, I highly doubt that. What it does, though, is it makes the
I think it could happen in December.
In half a second. You think it might?
I think when you get into that SEC championship game, I think the governor is completely off. It's if you have yards to get with your legs, go get them. Go get them.
Well, we will all find out together. Hey, we'll be back Thursday on our YouTube channel for Around the League from UGAsports.com. We also have Georgia versus Charleston Southern, the watch-along show, the post-game overreaction show. If you want Georgia Bulldogs content and you think this is the special season, you need to be a member over at UGAsports.com. As always, I enjoy doing this, Brent. Thanks for making the time. And awesome. We'll be back doing more of these video breakdowns on our YouTube channel, which, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, that's a problem, and you need to fix that right now.
Get us to 20K. Get us to 20K.
We are very close to 20K, but we're not stopping there because next week we need 25,000 subscribers.
Like Bitcoin? What's to the moon or something like that?
Stonks. We're doing some stonks.
Yeah, there we go. To the moon. To the moon with the UGA Sports YouTube channel.
For Brent Rollins, I'm Dayne Young. We'll see you next time.